What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Long time no see. But I wanted to come through and talk about this situation that has been unfolding involving DaniLeigh and DaBaby. And as I'm sure you probably know by now, DaniLeigh and DaBaby have a baby together. They have a daughter together. And I guess they're having some issues, some domestic issues of some sorts. So really, I just want to come through and give my thoughts and opinions about all that has unfolded thus far involving this whole situation with DaBaby going live and kicking DaniLeigh out the house, or calling police to kick DaniLeigh out the house. And then I think DaniLeigh still ended up staying in the house or coming back to the house, right? Just a whole bunch of rickety, ratchety, ghetto, hot messness, right? But really, though, I feel like the humbling of DaniLeigh still continues. And I think, I don't know, on like a, more so like a spiritual level, I feel like DaniLeigh has some like bad mojo on her, some sort of like bad energy, bad spirit, a curse of some sort or something on her because of perhaps the colorist song she made, the colorist bullying she engaged in, not sincerely apologizing to the black women that she offended with all that colorism. But I saw the videos and it was really bad. It was embarrassing for both DaBaby and DaniLeigh, but especially DaniLeigh, because she's out here looking bad with a capital B-A-D. Bad. Whew. And also, like, why is DaBaby calling the cops? Because I thought he was like a hood in, a real in from the streets, but I guess he's trying not to get caught up. He's trying to recover from that Rolling Loud incident that happened. So he ain't trying to get no bad press. So he can like, okay, let me go about this the right way and call the cops to get her out of here. And ultimately, I think that he did it the right way. But still, I got to put that in there, though. He calling the cops on DaniLeigh to get her out the house. But, as far as DaniLeigh is concerned, though, like, this is kind of like an example of ignoring the signs. Sign number one should have been a grown man calling himself DaBaby. What do you expect from a grown man who calls himself DaBaby? Do you really expect maturity? Do you really expect true masculinity from a man who calls himself DaBaby? But, DaniLeigh, she thought that she was special. And it may have been partially DaBaby's fault. But then again, from the videos that I've seen of them together, I feel like they never quite had chemistry. Does anyone else pick up on that? I feel like maybe she was a bit more, like she was more into it than he was. I think he was kind of like, since I'm here, But it seemed like she was more into it. But I feel like DaBaby, I think that he probably has better chemistry with Mimi, like his first baby mama, I think. And then there was accusations that DaBaby, well, I don't think these are accusations because he just straight up said it. Like basically, DaniLeigh is a side chick. He said side B. But that's just how he sees her. And he's at this point, I guess, being straight up with it. But I feel like DaniLeigh, she's refusing to just accept defeat. refusing to throw in the towel, refusing to cut her losses and just move on. And really, this is kind of, bringing DaniLeigh down, because really, DaniLeigh, if she would just clean her act up and get it together, she probably could pull a Sierra and probably get into a decent situation with a dude that's willing to offer her, what she really wants as far as like family is concerned and that sort of thing. Um, but for some reason, she's just stuck on DaBaby. You know, I just hope that this doesn't escalate and get violent, and I hope that the kid doesn't get, hurt in all this. Um, but the video that circulated and opened up with like DaBaby recording DaniLeigh feeding their child, and he telling her to get out. It was just the best look, And really, me personally, like, you ain't gotta ask me to leave twice. You ain't gotta ask me twice to leave. But DaniLeigh, apparently, he has to ask her many times to leave. But maybe she doesn't have anywhere to go. I really hope that she is not in a financial situation where she doesn't have anywhere else to go. I really hope not. And if you are, then I think you really need to go ahead and just file for child support, DaniLeigh. Because, DaniLeigh, she probably can get him like a decent little child support check from DaBaby. It'll be something, that she can live on. But it turns out that DaniLeigh caught a charge of like simple assault. But I don't think DaBaby is going to press charges on her. But still, like, Dan, you out here looking really bad, DaniLeigh. Really bad. Then she's saying she wasn't raised to have a man with 5 or 6 baby mamas. And I'm like, okay, another ignoring the signs, right? Another case of ignoring the signs here. Because, okay, it wasn't like DaBaby wasn't already had kids before. He had, I think, 2 baby mamas at that point. But I guess that she thought that she was going to be special because she thought that, the yellow bone, well, that was going to keep him home. She thought that the yellow bone was going to keep him home. But, nah, yellow bone ain't keep him home. All right. And also, notice like DaniLeigh calling DaBaby all types of N-words. Why does she feel so comfortable to do that? DaBaby. Like, that's something else too that a lot of people let slide, let go over their head, like don't check, don't notice, right? Because I guarantee you, if this was a black woman and a white man, we, like, as the community, we would be saying, like, we would be dogging this sister out for letting her white man, or non-black man even, call her the N-word. Like, oh, you cool with that? Oh, you a bed wench now? Right? And, that's another thing. I feel like the black men tend to get coon passes way more than the black women do. But I'll get into that a little later in this video. I'm not sure if DaniLeigh meant to get pregnant or not. I think not, because she was trying to get on birth control, but really she should have got on birth control before she became sexually active with DaBaby, or sexually active period, if she didn't want kids. But then again, DaniLeigh does, I do think that DaBaby may have a point where he said like DaniLeigh has like some sort of a fatal attraction thing going on. I kind of think there's some truth in that. It may not be to that extent yet, not yet, Um, but I think there may be some truth in that. And again, why is she having unprotected sex with DaBaby? Like, you could get a STD, STI. It seemed like these folks don't really like use their common sense. Then there was some talk about DaniLeigh having a plan B sent to his condo because all he want to do is come at me with no responsibility. Like, really? Like, really? Why does he have access to you like that? Especially at this point, do you want to get pregnant again by DaBaby? And she's like 3 months postpartum, so I don't really think it would be healthy for her to get pregnant again at this point. I don't think that would be a wise decision. I'm not sure how long they want you to be spaced out when it comes to that. I'm thinking at least a year before you have another kid, but I don't know. But I'm thinking it would be at least a year before you have another kid. But also, this shows you that it seems like she's still having unprotected sex with DaBaby, right? And then I gotta get on DaBaby too, because I've been coming at DaniLeigh, but I gotta get on DaBaby too for some things too, because he's talking about you ain't finna bring this black man down. I'm like, really? Are you serious? Folks love to bring in the racism and try and throw that in there and to get some like sympathy or to get some support more. So like, I feel like it's like, oh, it's racism. You know how black people are when it comes to like accusations of racism. They become more. They're really hyper vigilant when it comes to like black people, and generally speaking, black people are hyper sensitive, hyper vigilant when it comes to racism, right? Understandably so. But people take advantage of that. People try and like use and exploit that to their own benefit. And we already know DaBaby ain't really about the community like that. And as well, DaBaby, you put yourself in this situation as well to be brought down as a black man. And I'm not sure what DaniLeigh is doing exactly to bring you down, but I guess I don't know. And then DaBaby wants to come through and say, y'all disown y'all half black grandbaby soon as y'all couldn't control y'all daughter. So now he's pushing in some accusations about, racism as is being focused on the child, right? And perhaps this could like low-key be like a colorism thing. Um, DaniLeigh is claiming to be Afro-Latina because she got a little bit of black in her. But I'll just keep this as a racism complaint, though. But again, it's just like when it's convenient to the narrative, then it's like racism, 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 right? But I'm like, you didn't pick up on any of this before y'all had a kid. You ain't pick up on DaniLeigh's racism or colorism before y'all had a kid or her family, you know. And again, if a black woman was in this situation, if a black woman was in this same situation, saying these same things about, y'all don't like y'all have black grandbaby. Oh no, y'all ain't finna bring this black woman down. Would the community care? Would anyone really care? Would she get support from black men? No. Would she get support from black women? By and large, no. Probably be a couple, but by and large, no. You know, she would be clowned and shamed into next year, right? And we would just be saying she got what she deserved. That's what you get for being a bed wench, being a coon, being a cum dumpster for a non-black man, right? And since we're talking about like family and stuff like that, has DaniLeigh even met DaBaby's mother or his other family members at all? You know, because she's saying she ain't a side chick. But I'm thinking, okay, if you ain't a side chick, at some point, shouldn't you have met his, especially if y'all have a kid at this point, even if you are a side chick, I think you should probably be meeting his family since, this child is going to be a part of the family. But then again, maybe DaBaby don't really want that connection like that. And has DaBaby met DaniLeigh's family, right? Because he's kind of throwing out accusations about her family not wanting to claim their quote unquote half black grandbaby, even though DaniLeigh was claiming Afro Latina just some months ago, by the way. And now all of a sudden the child is half black. And why is DaBaby even having a half black child to begin with? Again, we all have choices. We all can do what we want. But I'm just saying, why was this even something that you engaged in? You shouldn't have had a half black child to begin with. You should have just kept it black, and you probably wouldn't even be in this situation where you having your child be possibly shunned by their non-black grandparents, if this is true. So that is something that DaBaby needs to be held responsible for and accountable for, because a lot of times when these black dudes procreate with non-black women and then the non-black woman's family doesn't want to claim the child or be associated with the child and shun the child, then they want to come all on social media now talking about they don't want to claim they have black grandbaby. Oh, they racist. And it's like, okay, well, you should have chose better. Why did you choose a racist family to have your child be a part of? Because again, if this was a black woman, again, there would be no sympathy. No one would be trying to sympathize, empathize, trying to help or support her. None of that. None of that. So let's hold people accountable, right? Because that would be the excuse, like, oh, you gotta be held accountable for your choices, black woman. Oh, you should have chose better, black woman. So, and I do agree with that. We all should be accountable for the choices that we make, and we all have to choose better. That's true. But let's apply it across the board, though. Let's not go easy on folks. Let's not cut folks some slack now. Let's go ahead and level all it out together. And since we are talking about black women, let's kind of jump to that for a moment, because I do see some black women out there, not all, but enough of black women out here trying to trauma bond with DaniLeigh over this situation she got with DaBaby. Like, for some reason, black women, particularly, someone like the pick-me's, the mammies, the mules, those types, tend to want to trauma bond with non-black women and exoticals over being done wrong by no good black man that really they knew were no good from the jump. And it's like, but why? Why you want to trauma bond? And I think it's because they want to kind of like be they friend, you know. When you want to bond with someone, you want to have sort of like a connection, They want to bond and have a connection with these non-black women, right? But both DaniLeigh and DaBaby should have chosen better. And as far as black women are concerned, I don't think either one of them deserves any sort of advocacy coming from black women. None of these people care about black women. All right. So let the Latinas advocate for DaniLeigh, right? Let the Dominicanas, you know, advocate for DaniLeigh, and let the black men, los negros, advocate for DaBaby. And notice that the Latinas, notice they silent. They ain't jumping into this. I don't see J-Lo jumping into this. I don't see J-Lo hooping and hollering and singing off key, jumping into this. I don't see Rosie Perez. I don't see Cardi B. I don't see Sin Santana and Erica Mena. I don't see not even the Afro Latinas, if they, like Christina Milian or Amara La Negra. I don't even see them jumping in it. But the black women, though, they gonna jump in full force for the preferential exoticals. Black women have been, because of being black male identified, since black men value these, the preferential exoticals, a lot of black women who are black male identified value them the same, right? That's why you had B. Simone a while ago, big up in DaniLeigh, going all crazy on social media or the gram or whatever, talking about how the Tinas got the upper hand. Oh, the Tinas, they got natural good hair, quote unquote, right? They exotic, right? And DaniLeigh, she probably ate it up. She was like, I know, shoot, yellow bones be popping, even though she's not even a yellow bone, And they don't even use that phrase within like Dominican culture, as far as I know. I don't think so. No. I think that's maybe more so an African American thing, and maybe something that black people call her or DaBaby call her, but she ain't even a yellow bone though. She wouldn't be classified as a yellow bone though. But whatever. But notice that black men are advocating for DaBaby, right? And notice that the black men who hype up the preferential exoticals like DaniLeigh are not coming to DaniLeigh's defense at all. Notice that. Either they're just staying out of it altogether, or they're advocating for DaBaby, right? And there's a hierarchy at play. As I've mentioned in previous videos before, it's a colorism hierarchy within the community. All right, we all know how that plays out. How the colorism hierarchy goes. It's like the dark skin and brown skin brothers on top. Then their preferential exoticals, the light skinned chicks, biracials, etc. be second. And as far as third and fourth, it's the way that I personally see it. And this is debatable, but I would think that basically the male equivalent of the exoticals and the light skinned dudes and biracial dudes or whatever would be about third, and then fourth would be the brown skin, dark skin sisters. And I know some people will be like, hey, well, why it's like that? Well, shouldn't it be like this? Oh, like that. And I think that ultimately it's debatable, but I think that is the way that it is because of ultimately who gets hit the hardest by colorism. That's where it's coming from. Let's see. And, let this situation be a lesson for everybody, but especially for the, the preferential exoticals out there and the men who hype them up. Let this be a lesson for you that, yeah, you being put on a pedestal, but the thing is, the pedestal, it's based in a foundation that is very weak, right? It's like if you build a house, but the foundation isn't strong. That's the thing. Like this pedestal, yeah, it's nice, but after a while, when you've been on it for too long, you're going to start to feel it move. And sometimes it may end up just breaking, or either you may just end up getting knocked off of the pedestal. So, long story short, I think this situation should be a lesson for everybody involved, you know. And I think that Mimi, the baby's one of the baby's baby mamas. She may be pregnant. I hear that. I hope that's not true, but there was some like imagery on social media of her having like a stomach, like a protruding stomach that looked like she was pregnant. Oh boy. Oh boy. And I bet Mimi, she probably think that she winning right now. And I guess in a way she is, but Mimi, don't get too, prideful and too boastful, because, the tables can turn, and, you could end up looking like DaniLeigh. I mean, DaBaby ain't got no scruples. So just be careful with that. I know you want to stick it to DaniLeigh and let her know, hey, I'm what's up, not you. Just because you a yellow bone, don't mean that you gonna be a picture on this phone, you know. But I guess I've said all that I have to say for the time being. Oh yeah, I guess another thing, DaniLeigh's brother jumped into the mix for some reason. And at this point I'm just like, where is your brother at to get you out of this situation? He should have just came up there and got you. But maybe DaniLeigh doesn't want to be got, want to be saved. Maybe she does not. She wants to stay in the house that she is not welcomed in, and have sex with the baby, and have another baby by the baby, and then go through all this mess again. And also, why are these dudes getting coon passes? The black community definitely hands out coon passes to black men a lot. Kanye West would be the best example I can think of at the moment. I'm talking about cooned out to the max. But still, the black community holds some space for Kanye for some reason. Right? Still, for some reason. Right? But, when it comes to the sisters, you can't be cooned out. You can't be cooned out, because they're going to throw you out. Because that's not what it's about when it comes to the sisters. They want the sisters to hold down blackness. Notice that too. They want sisters to hold down like the whole black race. Like, make sure that it does not dissolve or go away. You got to be the anchor, right? And then the black dudes be having to have black children and complaining about that family don't want to see the black child, right? But let the sister complain about that. It's like, see, that's what you get. See? But I've said all I gotta say for the moment, though. Thank you a lot. Well, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section below. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.